right about now. Good, 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 good to be alive right about now. Good, 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 good to be alive right about now. Hallelujah, let that bassline move.
Hey guys, my name is John Schessler and welcome to my brand new vlog called Broke to Woke. So what is Broke to Woke? Well, Broke to Woke is kind of a birth from my own life. So it's basically this exorcism of everything that I've been through in my lifetime, and basically I'm using it as a tool to I guess, kind of navigate you through some hard times, or if you're having if you're questioning things about your health or your fitness, and your mental health, and how to get some clarity in your day. So a little bit about me before we get to the nitty-gritty. So I am a 35-year-old gay man living in Pittsburgh, and I'm a certified personal trainer. I'm a sports injury specialist as well as an orthopedic exercise specialist. So I've been a professional personal trainer for about 2 years. I work for a branch of Planet Fitness in West Mifflin, and I absolutely love what I do. The opportunity every single day to reach new as well as existing clients and help them reach goals, not only physically but just mentally, and seeing that change in them, going from disparity to I can do this, and let's train for a 5K, and hey, I lost 80 pounds, and yeah, like, that is the best part of my job. Prior to being a personal trainer, though, I worked in education for 10 years, special education. So I loved what I did. It's just I needed a change. I also needed some clarity in my own life. So I think that this new avenue has given me major opportunities in ways of helping people and helping myself in the process. So let's get right down to what we're talking about. And throughout these vlogs, I'll let you in on little personal things about myself. And if you also have any questions for me, you can leave them right down there in the comments section, or you can send me an email because I love to get emails. And so let's talk about what we're going to talk about. So finding what matters in your life is a big part of growing up, and it's a big part of being a well-rounded adult. So sometimes when we're teenagers and 20-somethings, we really don't focus on the big picture. And when I was a kid, I was paralyzed from the neck down. I had something called Guillain-Barré syndrome, and I also had something called encephalitis. So through that, I went into a coma, and to give you the Reader's Digest version, I had to go through tests and therapies and all this fun stuff when you go to the hospital. And it took a while, but I finally got back to a functioning level. The older I got, the more that I realized that I survived for a reason. So I'm basically using my powers for good instead of evil. So finding what matters is a very important part of figuring out who you are and who we want to be. First thing I have to talk about is this difference between finding happiness and finding pleasure, because they're both very different, in ways of the payback we get from each. So, what is happiness and pleasure? So, happiness is more of an intrinsic reward, something that we feel inside. So, when I, for example, find happiness in writing or vlogging or talking to people or training people, and I get a thank you or some sort of, acknowledgement that I am doing a good job. It's more of an intrinsic reward, obviously. I'm not going to go out and be like, hey, look at me. Yeah, no, it's not going to happen like that. So, pleasure is a little bit different. So, when we're in a romantic relationship with our partners, our significant others, we tend to hold hands, kiss, things like that. That's more pleasureful. You might be happy, but it's more of a pleasureful experience. And things like that. But the thing with pleasure usually is that it's instant gratification. So, and instant gratification doesn't always work. It does for the time being, but in the long run, you're basically screwed. So, so something a little bit more lasting while trying to find out what is going to make you happy versus pleasureful is obviously going to fare better in the long run. So while we're on this quest for what's going to make us happy, and basically what happens is, with the whole happiness versus pleasure and taking pleasure usually over happiness because of the whole quick fix thing, we come into this culture that is basically very magnified anymore, and it's what's called a numbing culture. So what is a numbing culture? People tend to invest more in pleasure than happiness, like I said. And in the United States culture, because it's what I know, and it's what I'm very familiar with. In the U.S. today, we have this culture of let's do things that are fun, let's do things that is fast and really not that hard. So we have fun, fast, and easy. And the problem with fun, fast, and easy, it doesn't always yield positive results. More often than not, it brings on negative effects. So, to borrow a page from one of my favorite authors, Brene Brown, she said in one of her TED Talks that we are the most in-debt, obese, medicated, and just messed up adult cohort in human history, because we like this nature of fun, fast, and easy. We rack up debt, we tend to put on more weight, and we're miserable, and it's just not a good way to be. So numbing is synonymous with deflection usually. So when we numb, we're running away from problems that we don't want to face, or issues that, we just don't want to deal with. We've all been there. Good Lord knows I've been there more times than once. But deflection goes hand in hand with perfection. And if anybody wants their life to look like a nicely wrapped box with a gold bow on it, it's me. For years, I tried to please and perfect. In school, I was always the one looking to lend a hand to the teacher, and I was always the one, woo, I'll do it, I'll volunteer. Um, Obviously, the older I've gotten and the more, I guess, wise that I've gotten in 35 years, the less that I've tried to do that, and the less I've tried to please other people, and more about pleasing myself, because at the end of the day, you're all you got. So, uh, with trying to perfect, usually, um, to give an example, we tried to take fat from our butts and put it in our cheeks. So basically, you're displacing what doesn't work to make it work somehow. So liposuction is a perfect example. That's basically what liposuction is. You're trying to take something that's imperfect and perfect it. And what we don't realize is those many imperfections that we have are what makes us us. Without those imperfections, we are not who we're supposed to be. So, how can we change? How can we change our plans to becoming happy instead of getting pleasure? So be real is the first thing. This sense of authenticity. So be real with yourself, but don't just be real with yourself, be real with other people. So a perfect example that I could give from my life is coming out. I spent 28 years lying to other people, as well as myself, and I wasn't living in my truth. And anybody who has gone through a process like this can tell you that when you start to come out and you start to tell people about who you are and who or what you would like to be treated as, you get a lot more, usually, you get a lot more positivity from other people and a lot more caring and appreciation than you thought it would be. My process was just that. I don't think I've ever had a negative response to coming out to anybody. I've had a couple people kind of be thrown off about it, but usually that dissipates really quick, as it should. So, take down the masks, because masks aren't meant to be worn all the time. But we all do it. We get up every morning, and before we leave the house, we put on a mask. Guys, most of the time, it's a stoic, I'm in charge kind of mask. The whole I don't talk about my feelings, or I pretty much have everything in my life together, so everything's relatively easy for me. Yeah, that doesn't work. Anybody I know who's absolutely accomplished in their lives, emotionally as well as professionally, will be able to tell you that they didn't get to where they were by holding things in. So you need to express yourself and your feelings. If you're going through something, you need to talk about it, because holding on to that, it's going to cause anxiety, depression, and things a lot worse than that. So be real with people. I mean, you're only human, so if people can't take you for what you are, they don't belong in your life. So that's number one. So number two is go against the grain. So this one was a hard one for me, because I always wanted to fit in that nice, neat little box that you're supposed to fit in. So I mean, and we're targeted from the day we're born. So you're a girl, you like pink. You're a boy, you're associated with blue. So the same thing as we go through life. So boys play with trucks, girls play with dolls, and so on and so forth. You get older, boys play sports, girls play girls are cheerleaders. Sorry. Girls are cheerleaders, and girls try out for the musicals and things like that. But be different. Be different. You've got one life, and it's not that long if you think about it. Be different. Be nutty. Be crazy in a good way. Because we all have that one person in our lives who's, yeah. So anybody who's ever made a difference in this world has always been the least little bit crazy with their ideas, with the way that they've acted, and you should too if you want to make some sort of impact while you're here. Just be crazy, nutty, for lack of a better term. So, number three is travel. Travel. It's a big world out there, and it's not getting any smaller. So a good way to find yourself is lose yourself in a new place. Go somewhere that you've never been before. Save up for a trip. Go somewhere with somebody. Share an experience. Learn a new language. Learn a different culture. You'll learn a lot more about the world by experiencing it through the eyes of somebody else in another culture, in another place. Just by seeing that it's not all about you and where you're from. There are people out there who they have a lot more issues and a lot more problems that they have to deal with every single day, and it's the norm for them. And if you're able to see that firsthand, it's going to give you a lot more gratitude for your life and the trite little problems that you experience every single day. So travel definitely is on my list for this year. Four. Put yourself first. So again, this one was hard for me, especially when I got into a relationship with my ex-partner. So he was a recovering alcoholic. And when I say recovering, I use that term very loosely. He tried. I'm not going to badmouth him in any way, should he see this at some point. But he had, the issues that most, addicts have, where they'll relapse and they'll apologize for it, and it's just this vicious cycle. So what I try to do is I went to community college for social work as well, so I try to fix him. I've always been the fixer. In my circle of friends, in even my family, a little bit. So putting myself before somebody else, especially if somebody who I cared about, was not in my realm of thinking. So the more we got into the relationship, the more detached he became. Not because he wanted to. Well, maybe he wanted to. I don't know. But the more detached he became, because I guess the addict was kind of taking over, and so I had to put myself first, because if I didn't take care of myself, I couldn't function and take care of other people. So putting yourself first isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's not selfish in any way, because again, at the end of the day, you have to live with yourself. And most of the stuff that I'm saying is cliche, but it's true. You do have to live with yourself at the end of the day. And if you don't love the extraordinary person that you are, how can you expect somebody else to? We weren't created to be ordinary. So don't put yourself down when you don't think that you're making a difference. Because, I mean, I do it all the time. You look on social media, on Facebook, and there's everybody's accomplishments. So and so just had a baby. So and so just got promoted, and ooh, they just went on a vacation. They just got married. These are all good things. But what do we do on social media? We never put the negative stuff. And I've sometimes do. It's not a cry for help. It's just I don't want to appear fake all the time. I might put it in like code, but you know, I still project it because it's a release for me. Um, but but again, back to what I was saying, I've learned to put myself first, and so many great things have come out of it because of that. So, number 5, find your bliss. So, we've all heard this before. So, finding your bliss means, at least to me, while you're going through your everyday life, it's your job, with your families and your friends, develop new interests and, really focus on those skills and try new things. Life is meant to be experienced firsthand. Don't sit on the sidelines, because anybody who has lived a good amount of years will tell you, and my parents tell me this more often than not, it goes quick. And the older I get, the more I'm, kind of figuring that out. But, you probably have so much untapped potential in you that you haven't even discovered yet. I know I am still learning every single day. And, just try and develop yourself. We live in a world now where everything is it's so accessible. You have a question, go online. Or on your phone, Google it and see what pops up. So Google some interests, find some groups in your area, meet new people with similar ideas. You never know where it could go. So to wrap things up, so here's what we got. So 1, don't dismiss the awesome person of the to wrap it up, don't dismiss the awesomeness of what's ordinary out of the fear for the quick fix, because there are none. Anything that's ever worth having never came easy. And believe me, I can tell you that. So, Two, we tend to miss out on things like nature, connection, family, and friends, and music, and the saccharine qualities in life while we're on the search for things to distract us from the world that we live in. And I get it. It's the world changes every single day, minute and moment. And usually if you turn on the TV, it's not great, at least what they project. But I'm a firm believer in there's a lot more good in this world than there is bad. It's just we get shown the bad for whatever reason. So, lastly, what I found is a good thing to do is meditate. So one good thing that my ex did teach me was meditation. He was a practicing Buddhist, and he basically taught me the basics on how to meditate. So anybody who's meditated, it's not Buddha in the diaper going like this to a bunch of gongs and bells and things like that, unless that's what you're looking for. But for me, it's about relaxing my body and just diffusing from everything. Not for long, for like a minute to 5 minutes. I sleep better, my head's clearer, and I'm able to focus on ideas. And like this vlog, for example, this came out of me meditating. Like I remember thinking, what can I do that's new and what's different? And here we are, Broke to Woke, episode 1. So just as a stress reliever and trying to tap into your creativeness and everything that you think about during the day either can go away through meditation or it can be enriched through meditation. So I firmly urge you to try a meditation practice. And believe me, you will thank yourself. But anyway, so that being said, I'm so glad you came to join me on this journey. I'm very excited about the things that I'll be talking about. And also, I want you guys to send me some topics. What do you want me to talk about? Do you have anything that you're curious about? Do you need fitness advice or motivation? We're all in this little coven together, guys. So drop me a comment down there in the comments, or you can send me a DM on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. I'll leave those links down there in the comments section. And I will see you guys later. Have a good day, guys.